Well, while the big cat's away, the mice are at play. Obviously, he didn't leave sufficient instructions because people are being investigated. Mr. Flynn, what did he do? He pleaded the Fifth Amendment. As you'll recall, someone by the name of Donald Trump said, "You'd never plead the Fifth Amendment if you're not guilty." Well, little contradiction here, And the Senate and the House are launching more deep investigations and actually have some paperwork on things. A paper trail is beginning. And lastly, Trump has hired lawyers. What he's done, he set up a firm so that he could do all of his radio, television, media work, as well as accept speaking invitations, thinking he could get around the law that says if you are an ex-general, you cannot do anything for 5 years without permission from the government outside working for another contractor. I was covered by these laws because I was in military intelligence, and for 5 years I was not allowed really to travel beyond the Iron Curtain or to Cuba and a whole bunch of other things. So it's not as though he didn't know. He just tried to avoid the law. Yes, there are two reasons for this. One, he is the deal maker, and he makes all deals for the president. The other is his office is right next door to the Oval Office. So if anything transpires in the Oval Office, he's privy to it. He's like the junior president or the president in waiting or whatever you want to call him. Maybe we would call him Rasputin. I don't know. But he's certainly got the clutches of the government in his hands. There are a lot of people who don't like that. They think if they're dealing with the president, they ought to be dealing with him straight up. Yes, Ivanka is out there, and apparently she's doing everything she can to control her father. She's not doing too good a job. Lecturing NATO today was not a very smart move. And if any of you saw this on television, he didn't get sterling, strong applause. He just got deep stares having done that. How to Make Friends and Influence People should be the next book he reads. Yes, now let's put this in perspective. He says he asked Comey 3 times whether he was under investigation. Each of those times he asked was a federal offense. You cannot ask an ongoing investigator about the course of an investigation. That's against the law, even if I do it. So he's really in trouble because this says there's intent. Apparently, he did the same thing with the head of the NSA and the CIA. That means there's purpose, there's intent to conspire to suborn an investigation. That is, cut it off. That's against the law. Nixon was impeached for exactly that. Well, yes. First of all, let's put this in context again. Mr. Trump has not been accused of anything. He's seeking legal advice, as he should. And he's turning to a person he trusts. This is a very big law firm. They will have experts within the firm who can assist in matters if they become personal or governmental. What he's doing is he's trying to make sure he has the best people on his side if it comes to it. But the bigger problem for him is not him testifying at all. What will Flynn say? I think the bus is coming. The question is who gets thrown under the bus. And if you miss that bus, the taxi cab called Comey is coming down on the other side of the street. One of these is going to cause severe damage to his administration and his presidency. When you go through these kinds of allegations, these kinds of situations, the presidency becomes weak. Congress stops paying attention to the president. Many people in the country stop paying attention to them. They look for other people to be their leaders. So I think the presidency is in trouble, and Trump knows it. That's exactly what they're doing. And so what's happening now with Mueller is he's rounding out people who are in the White House and letting it be known he may not have anything on them, but if they know something, they better come forward. Now, what does that mean? It means if I work in the White House, I got to go find a lawyer. I make $170,000 a year. Some lawyers charge that an hour. So there's leakage in the White House because people are trying to find a way out. They don't want to face the FBI. They don't want to find a lawyer. With the money they're making and the reputation they're losing, this is really a problem. And that's why we're hearing all these leaks. People are looking for ways they can say something that may be incriminating and they can take a path. I think the flood has already started. There's very little doubt in my mind that there are people now who are actively engaging and trying to find a way that they can find salvation. This would be a terrible thing on your resume. I got out, as you know, in the Nixon administration. I didn't know this was happening, but something was wrong, so I got out. For years, I did not admit I worked any place in Washington. Now, all of a sudden, this is coming good. But can you imagine anyone my age saying, I worked for President Nixon? Boy, talk about a downer on the resume. Well, these young people, many of them are young, have long careers in front of them, and they know the consequences, particularly if they're lawyers, of trying to get a job in a law firm with an impeachment around your neck. Well, maybe I can do some recalls for some of these guys if they'd like to hire me in terms of how you get out clean.